microphone. Okukusa NTV.
Congratulations, and of course this actually reaffirms our conversation of the day, the journey to success and the experiences therein. It doesn't matter what obstacles you find, you can actually get to your destination if you've got the willpower to do so. Now, to help us reaffirm this conversation, I'll be introducing my panel in a moment, but just a recap of our question of the day to you is, given a chance to take a shortcut to success, would you take it and why? Given a chance to take a shortcut to success, would you take it and why? Talk to us. That hashtag is new normal, and as I said, you can also reach us using the numbers that will be at the bottom of your screen as we continue with this discussion. And to help us along with the same, we have Tony Akideva, who is in studio with me. He's a co-founder, Sierra Perfumes, and we're also joined virtually by Dr. Masi Nyanchama, who is a consultant radiologist and the director of the KDIS Imaging. Thank you for joining us. We're waiting for one more person. As soon as they're in, they will join us on the same. And let me start off with you, Tony. Just listening to that story we just read, the lady who lost her sight, but now she's joining university. What does it remind you about the willpower to achieve your goals?
Dedication, and hard work. I think it took her hard work to get where she is now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And you are the co-founder of Sierra Perfumes. Yes. When did this journey start for you?
It started in March 2016. Yes.
And how did it start and why?
It's an interesting story. Being jobless and trying to find something to do. And then I had a meeting with my friend. So he was like, "Hey, Tony, I think we need to do something." So he had other ideas, and I think I was trying to brush him off. So I told him, maybe we can start this thing and see what it does. So he told me, anyway, go for it. And then I told him, I don't have any cash. He just told me, go for it. And then I think that's how we started. Yeah.
All right. So no cash. You have this dream to get into perfumes business. First of all, why the perfumes industry?
I think I love perfumes. Yeah, I love perfumes. And since high school, I just had this mentality that a person should smell good. So I think that's how it started.
So you were the guy in high school who smelled nice.
You can say that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So a love for perfumes, but you don't have capital. So now, how did you start off the business?
So my friend, he told me, like, how much would you want to start? Like, what's the capital? So I told him, I don't know, but I'll let me just try to find out from a few people and to see how much maybe we can, to see how much we can, like, to see how much capital we can start with. So he told me, Sawa, it's okay, you can do that. So, and then, like, I didn't really want to, like, push him, so I just went home and I didn't do anything. So after like 4 days, he called me, he told me, hey, Tony, have you, like, have you done that? I told him, no, give me a few days. So I wrote a few emails, and then, yeah, that's how we started. Yeah.
So the money part?
The money part, actually, is the one who produced the capital. Yeah, so the first capital came from him. I didn't do anything. He just told me, Sawa, I'm sending you some cash. Please go ahead and order the stuff.
Yeah. Now, perfumes are normally a bit expensive, so especially if you're going to go for the good stuff. So how many bottles of perfumes did you start this business with?
We started with like 15. So now the thing is, for me, I ordered what I liked. Yeah. So like whatever our first products really didn't go. Yeah, because it's like I went for what I liked instead of like maybe trying to figure out what people liked. So I went for what I liked.
Now
So
we'll
it
delve
was-
further into that to
Yeah.
understand now the mistakes that you made as you
Yeah.
were starting off, and of course some of the lessons you've learned
Okay.
therein. Let's hear from Dr. Masinyanchama. You are a consultant radiologist. So when did you venture into the world of health?
Oh, the world of health or the entrepreneurial world of health? Hello, Gladys. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
The health or the world of business? Which one? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
I need to understand your question. Do you want
Okay,
the world of
when
health?
did you venture into the space you're in?
All right, my journey started. I did my medical degree in University of Nairobi. I'm an alumnus of Precious Blood, and then I did my. I finished, and then I remember I came in to do my postgraduate radiology about 1.5 years after finishing, and I remember those days. At the time, for you to come into a master's program, they wanted you to be older, and I was not older, and then again I had just been transferred from Murang'a to Nairobi, and I remember initially they had not allowed us to do it, and I remember running to the ministry and speaking to the then DMS and telling him, look, you have 11 radiologists within the government. I knew where each was. There were 11, I remember, and I knew where every radiologist was, because at the time I had joined. I was working in Forces Memorial Hospital. I'd moved from Murang'a Hospital. I'd been transferred to Forces Memorial Hospital, and I was mentored by Dr. Otieno, who was the radiologist then. So I decided, do I want to do this? So the DMS told me, no, but I've just transferred you because I just gotten my daughter, my first daughter. And then he said, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. Then I told him, no, just allow me to go for the interview. Just let me go for the interview. I remember that time my dad, I have very supportive parents. I had very supportive parents because I remember at first I was thinking, I have a baby. And my dad told me, you know what, a baby has never stopped anybody going back to school. So don't see like it's an issue, So I ran to the ministry, and I remember trying to find out the issue with the shortlisting. And I remember Dr. Awak telling me, no, we were shortlisting everybody. So ran to the ministry. Then I asked the DMS at the time, who was Dr. Kimani, and told him, just allow me to go for the interview. Yeah, if you think I'm going to fail, allow me to go for the interview. So I took my papers to Board of Postgraduate Studies, because we had to be released by the ministry at the time. First to Board of Postgraduate Studies. Then that's when now I actually was on his pile. I was one of the first ones to be rejected because of my age. So I ran, and then I did the entrance interview, and I did very well. And so when I went back to his office, I asked him, okay, so do you still think I'll fail? And he then said it's okay, and that's how I got my sponsorship. That's how I did my postgraduate studies. Then when I was in postgrad, remember there are a lot of skills that you get. Not only there's a difference. For example, a lawyer. There's a difference from being a lawyer in terms of the work of being a lawyer, and then there's the work of running a law practice. All right. Yeah. Two different things. And there are things you learn in school, you sit there and you learn, and then there are other things you can only learn outside. So I remember, like initially to work, we used to do our postgraduate, all right, in University of Nairobi and Kenyatta. And then I attached myself to to other specialists like myself who were out. They were in private practice outside, yeah? And initially, it was not for pay, all right? I was looking at it in terms of the skill set. I want to get the skill set. I want to learn what it is. So I remember meeting one of my first, the radiologist, I think Dr. Mutunga in Thika, and I told him, I just want to come and learn nothing, whatever. So I came, I'd work. Then he told me after 1 month, he's like, no, Daktari, we need to pay you. Then that's when they started paying, and he organized. At that time, it was, I think, Aga Khan DIC in Thika. Mm-hmm. That's when they started paying me. So they realized the value that I was offering. Then at the time, he told me, oh, you know, I want you to meet my other colleague. Then he moved me to Nairobi. He contacted his colleague, and I got into another one. That was Dr. Roderick. After that, I got some work at Upper Hill Medical Center. Awesome. These are all awesome people in our field who sort of mentored me in my journey. You know, you have the Dr. Murukas and Dr. Washira, who are in Upper Hill. Now they're out of practice, some of them deceased, but they helped me learn, not just learning within the university, yeah? Mm-hmm. So, because I concentrate on getting the money rather than getting the skill.
Aha, that's a good point. That's a good point to raise. Let me stop you there at this moment and actually understand if Tony has also, you know, experienced the same. I mean, Tony, you started off a business. You have very little to no capital. You have 15 bottles of perfume. Yeah. And you're thinking, okay, fine, I need to push this, but the money is still not coming in. Yes. So at this point, what's driving you?
I think it was just a passion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just a passion. And then I didn't want to fail. So, because on one side, I'm being pressured to look for a job. And on the other side, I really want this to work out. So it was just a passion. And then at least for her, she had somebody to mentor. Uh-huh. For me, I didn't have anyone to mentor. So it was just solo. So you learned on the go? Yes, I learned on the go.
Okay, yeah. You talk about passion being such an integral part of actually achieving your goals. Yeah? Mm. And at the point where you're being pushed to earn that salary at the end of a month, but your passion is pulling you to do something that you love. How did you sustain the reality that this business needs to flourish with a bit of capital?
So that's a good question. I think that's now the beauty of having a good support system around you. Yeah, because I have a few of my friends and a few of my relatives who really supported me. So once the first talk didn't work out, so now I had to chip in money, but I didn't have money. At that time, I didn't have any money because whatever I was waiting for, it took a bit of time for it to come in. So I had to look for money. When I did that, I went to my relative, and then we had a talk, and she agreed to support me. So that's how we got the second capital. So that was from me, and the other one was from my friend. So with that, I just prayed and told God, hey, no, I don't want to move. Yeah, so we made our second order. That was 2 weeks after our first order. Yeah, so we made our second order, and I think God works in miracles.
Because you're here to say that you actually survived.
Survived, yeah. So, so from our second, we've never looked back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've never
okay,
looked back.
Tell me at this point, everyone must be thinking you're out of your mind to be pushing an agenda that you cannot afford. You just go back to the working industry and find yourself a job.
Yes.
And then you have to go and borrow money from some of these people who are not really believing in your dream.
Yes.
Some people can be taken aback and say, I can't go ask for help because wataniangaliaje.
Yeah.
What made you see beyond the ego and just go and do what needs to be done?
It took time. I wasn't even sure that she's going to help. So what I did, I called her, and then I just like summarized. In fact, before calling her, she didn't even know like I had gotten into business. So I just summarized, and I told her I'll come to see you. So she said, yeah, you can just come and see me. When we went, we talked. She never even asked many questions. Yeah, she never even asked many questions. She just told me, it's okay, I'll support you. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'm sure by end of this year, you know, it's March.
Yes.
By end of this year, I'm going to pay you.
Okay. All right. And at this point, you're very optimistic, yet you know the first consignment did not work.
It's dead stock.
Okay, so where was this, you know, belief in self coming from? Because, you know, you've tried it once, Kimeumana, but I'm still going to try again.
I don't know. I think once you follow your passion, there's just something behind you that keeps on pushing you. So I think that's what happened to me.
Okay.
Just something that kept on pushing me.
All right. So at this point, I'd like to understand from our viewers, even as we listen to the journey to success for the rest of those on the panel, given a chance, would you cut corners to achieve success? Would you cut corners to achieve success? And if so, why? If not, why? That hashtag is a new normal. We have Joseph who is saying, I would definitely go. Shortcuts is Kenya and Kenya is shortcuts. I can't glorify struggles to success. Allah! Joseph! Cliff Weezy says, yes, I would, because the pandemic ruled out my long-term formula to success. So I think shortcuts would do it better. Wow. Okay, Cliff? Geoffrey says, it depends with the kind of shortcut. Not all shortcuts are worth following. So which ones are these that are worth following? Tell us more. Irene says, oh yes, 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 Mbona. Talk to us. S.C. Samuel says, definitely, it is the way. Oh, wow. Okay. More here. Chris Njogi who says, do whatever you can to achieve what you want. That actually makes sense, but in terms of shortcuts, James Muiter says, if it doesn't disrupt peace within and without, I will run through. Okay, James, we hear you. Silal, why struggle when there is a way? There is no reward for struggling. Really? Nanya Baraza says, why not? And the way life is hard outside here. Okay, we hear you. Keep them coming through. Hashtag is a new normal. And of course, those numbers at the bottom of your screen is also another way of you reaching us and commenting or putting across your suggestions, even as we continue with this conversation on the journey to success. Now, Mercy, I see you smiling, even as people say they would take that shortcut anytime. Now, you decided to take the long route. You were young, you were being discouraged, you wouldn't make it, but you kept pursuing. When you hear the young at heart, and especially those saying if given a chance they would take the shortcut, what comes to mind?
Okay, I guess maybe my value system could be a little different. Shortcuts by what? Is it the right thing? You know, there's working hard, working smart, and then there are unethical shortcuts. For me, sometimes I think always having to look over your shoulder when you do your shortcuts, to me, is not, I don't know, maybe it works for other people, it just doesn't work for me. The other thing is, I'll tell you, running, as they have said for sure, running an ethical business in this country is hard. All right. There is also, I mean, you have to have a lot of grit. You also have to avoid perception, because of course you'll see the others doing the shortcuts and maybe you start earlier than them, and then maybe they go ahead faster. But you see, you have to stand on your own ground and your own value system. And money cannot be your only motivation, because as much as, yes, we are working hard to get money, tell me, what is it that you're going to carry from this life? I mean, there's nothing you can have permanently in life. There's nothing. Even a car, you can't own it permanently. You cannot own a house permanently. You cannot own. So your money cannot just be your motivator. There are other things that are actually fulfilling, like in terms of taking care of your, you know, like for me, when my clients get better, you know, and I do the right thing for them, because for my practice, we are very our practice, we're very clear. Yeah, if you don't need a procedure, we are not going to do it. Or we'll call your doctor and ask them, fine, is this necessary? Do you still want us to go ahead with it? So I remember one old man who came. He came once and he said, oh, you know, he'd been sent for something, and then looked and said, no, I don't think we need to do that. He was an old man. He was about 70. And I remember when we canceled the procedure and said, you know, this just needs a normal report, it was little money at the time. It was like not so much. It was 500, and what he'd been sent for was much more. And I remember him saying, oh, enyewe Mungu alijua sikuwa na hiyo pesa. All right. I think for me, it would have felt sad for me to take that money from that old man, knowing that, I mean, it's so hard to get and all that. We are not in it we are in it in terms of, do we care about you? Are we compassionate about you? Is it just, and you'll find also in terms of sustainability, shortcuts are very hard to sustain, but also there's the opportunity cost, because of course, if you're going to struggle, if there are some things you're not able to do, of course, we're talking about corruption in this country and kickbacks and everything, there's the opportunity cost, because you're going to take longer. Probably you'll earn less initially, but eventually get there without having to look over your shoulder. There are some things I think internally for me just don't match with my value system. Okay. So for me, it's not just society or money. No, I'm not in it for just that. No.
Okay. So Tony, I think I would pose the same question to you. I mean, you're struggling, you're trying to to put the capital together to grow your business, and there's always the attraction of cutting shortcuts, you know, getting somebody somewhere to do something for you that perhaps will give you the momentous money you want. Why didn't you choose this way?
I think for me, there was no way. Yeah, there was no way. Because there was no way. I just had to get the stuff, and I had to get the stuff sold. So I think for service and any other business, you might have shortcuts, but for me, there was no shortcut. Yeah. So I had to get whatever I get. I had to advertise, and I just had to get people to buy them.
Okay, but look at it this way. You are importing your products and all that. I mean, you could get to a point where you start cutting corners in terms of you don't want to pay up with Gary, you don't want to pay up some fees here and there. But you kept at it even with the little that you had. So why choose to keep on the right path as opposed to doing it, you know, in the converse?
I think, okay, and anyway, I get you, because there are so many fake stuff in the market. I would have opted to go for that and still charge the same amount but sell fake. But anyway, if I did that, I'm sure I wouldn't be where I am today. Yeah, because I think we are here because of the quality of the stuff that we sell. So if I had chose to maybe go for shortcuts, I don't think I'll be here. Yeah.
Okay, and that is very true, because people would finally find out that you actually are a bogus businessman. Okay, and there's something that also Marcy brought up, you know, being young, being passionate, focusing on something that perhaps is not something that's heard to be a big business, especially for a guy, you know, perfumes and all that. Did you get people doubting this business you're getting into?
Yes, even up to date, some people still doubt. Yeah.
How and why?
I think it's because in the market there are so many second-grade stuff, and there are so many fake stuff in the market. So, like when they see you selling, they're not sure if it's fake or if it's original. I think that's where now the bone of contention is. But once they buy it, their confidence builds up, so they keep on coming.
Okay, and how about this guy who decided to go into the cosmetic world, in this case selling perfumes? Did some people doubt that you would make it?
I think in fact, given the name of the company, people normally think it's a lady, so for me I don't have any issues.
So did you have doubting Thomases, people who did not believe you'd make it?
A lot, a lot.
What did you hear?
In fact, it used to go like this. They call you. They ask, do you have this and this? I say, yes, I have. Where are you located? By then, you are only online shop. You say online. That conversation ends there. You can't even convince someone. So once we put up a shop, it became easier. Because once you tell someone, we have a shop, in fact, they won't even come to the shop. They'll ask you, can you deliver it to me? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are talking about the journey to success, and the objective of this conversation is to reaffirm that hard work never goes out of fashion. And yes, you might choose to take the shortcuts, but as Mercy alluded, that it will take a lot for you to sustain it, if at all. So it always is wise that you stick to your guns, and hard work, tenacity, and of course, your virtues will take you to where you want to go. Now, before we get back to that conversation, I'm told that another consignment of vaccines has arrived at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and as you can see, those are the pictures on your screen. And as we just reiterated this morning, the Ministry of Health is saying they are bringing in all kinds of vaccines into the country, but you need to be wary not to mix them up, as there hasn't been enough proof that this is possible, and also if it is actually safe for your health. So that is another consignment of vaccines that has arrived at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. This time we have the Moderna vaccines, and these will be distributed by the Ministry of Health according to the protocols laid down. And as you heard last week, the Ministry of Health, to be particular, the CS, was very adamant that those who are found to be cutting shortcuts in as far as giving people who should not be enlisted outside their facilities will be brought to book. We'll keep you updated even as the Ministry of Health speaks more about inoculation and how that will be done, and also the distribution of these vaccines across the health facilities in the country. Now, back to the health practitioner amongst us, Dr. Mercy Nyanchama. Now, somebody is saying here, and this is a very good question, Mary is saying, it's interesting to hear a doctor who decided to work without pay, yet the job comes with so much responsibility. Why would you choose to work without pay? You said you needed the experience, but why would you hang on to that, yet you had an opportunity to work with pay?
No, you see, okay, let me put that more in focus, all right? You see, you have a lot of young people who say they're not able to get internships or paid internships, all right? So in this case, I was doing my postgraduate. I do believe doctors should be paid for their work, and the fact that it's also a dangerous field. I mean, you still need to be paid for your mind. So I don't want us confusing that I believe doctors should work without pay, okay? So what I mean is, if you're trying to get into an industry, all right, if you cannot get paid work, start by offering your services, volunteer to try and learn to work with some of these senior practitioners. The opportunity is not there to pay you. Are you going to just sit at home and say, you know what, I'm not able to get a paid place? I could have gone back and worked as a general doctor and gotten paid. But you see, I wanted the skill that this particular senior practitioner has. I want to see, what are they doing? What are they, how do they do their job? How do they run their business? How do they, So don't always think that if let's say they're not going to pay you and they don't have the opportunity, or they were not looking for people, and yet you want that skill, are you going to say that I'm not going to do it because they're not paying me? So when you start with volunteer services, then people realize, oh, the value that you're bringing to the business, or the value that you're bringing. Even when when I was not paid, it was for just 1 month. Within 1 month, he told me, you know what, we need to pay you. He realized what you're bringing to the table is actually, that's why I'm not saying that you should work without pay, not at all. I'm not saying that when you're trying to look for opportunities, don't limit yourself to places where you only get paid, because then you'll be narrowing you can always do any extra jobs. And I remember I I used to have only, at some point, I chose only one where I could still work as a general doctor, and this other place was not paying me. But it was after a month, okay? And then he organized for me to start getting paid. And that's how I got my locum at his place. And then after a while, at that particular place, and after a while, that person introduced me to another person who paid me also, okay? And this person introduced me to other people who also paid me. What I'm trying to say is, don't limit yourself to just the paid places. If you want a particular skill, go introduce yourself. Someone will recognize what you're bringing to the table. Someone will recognize what you're doing. Even if you're being paid, there'll be someone who'll say, oh gosh, this person actually adds value, and they will increase your pay.
Aha, very well said, very well said. And let me introduce at this point Josephine Njoroge, who is an entrepreneur. She's also the CEO of Lemafix Limited. Thank you for joining us. And as we continue with this conversation on the journey to success, let me just remind you the question of the day. If you were given a chance to cut corners to success, would you take it and why? If you were given a chance to take a shortcut to success, would you take it and why? Hashtag New Normal, and those numbers at the bottom of your screen is how you can reach us with your feedback. So let's hear from Josephine. Josephine, habari ya leo?
Nzuri sana.
All right, so wewe ni entrepreneur na tulikuona kwenye kipindi chetu cha Business Redefined, na kila mtu alikuwa anasema ule mama alisema alianza biashara na 2,900. Tell us how you got into the business you're in.
Okay, it was early to 4 when I started this, after struggling too much, then going around looking for a job and hustling. At a point, nikaona niende nitafute kazi pahali, because all was in vain. Sikuwa napata kazi, sikuwa nafanya nini. So I got employed to Ken Blessed. At least I worked there for 2 weeks. I got 2,900. And the time I was going around looking for job, nilipata hapa kuna kampuni. Hizi kampuni zinastahili mahindi, zinastahili zingine ngano, na hawana mashamba hapa Kenya. Wengi wao walikuwa Wahindi. So hiyo fikria ikakuja, nikaanza ile pesa wakati nilipata, nikaona kwanza niende pale mashambani. Na ndipo nilianza kazi yangu kuchota mahindi. Ile kuchota mahindi, for the first time nilichota gunia 2. Nikakuja na mkokoteni. Nikakuja ikashusha pale Capwell. Hao ndio walikuwa the first. Nikakuwa naenda nikikuja na leta, hata kama ni gunia 2 hawakuwa nakataa. Wanachukua na kimbia tena na leta. Hivyo mpaka ina time wakaona ninaendelea vizuri. Wakaanza kuniambia nikipata mingi naweza waletea. By then walikuwa natulipa cash, lakini tulikuwa tunapewa open check. By then it was Barclays. Hiyo open check, Barclays wali insist we should open an account. But you know, as young as I were, tulikuwa tunafikia tunafungua account, pesa zipotelee pale tena na kidogo. So tulikuwa tunakataa. By the way, ile wakati nilikubali, sasa ikakuwa sasa mimi naendelea tu. Company it sacrifice itself, hata wakanipatia kanta by then. Kuwa ninaenda, ninaleta. You know, sasa nimefikisha out of 2, by that time nimefikisha kama 10,000.
Kilograms or tons?
10,000 shillings. Pesa. Kwa hivyo ndio maana nilikuwa nimepita kiwango ya kupewa kanta. Sasa nikinunua, kampuni wananitumia gari. Wanakuja wanachukua destination pale nachukua, halafu wanaenda wananinunulia na tena wananipatia tena narudi. Nikaenda hivyo mpaka nikafikisha 80,000, 90. Ikakuwa sasa ile gari yao pia imekuwa kidogo. But sikuwa na give up. But, you know, si soko moja nilikuwa naenda. Soko moja inaweza kuwa Maragwa, ingine ikuwe Kagio, ingine. So from Monday to Friday nilikuwa naenda kuchota mahindi. Sasa pia pale wakulima wakaona ninaendelea. It was God favor anyway. Wakaona naendelea pia wananitrust. Unaona mtu hata hii chukua, wewe ukienda uuze ulete pesa. Mimi ikakuwa hivyo. Kumbe nao bank pale wananiangalia venye na operate. Because nilikuwa nakuja kama nimekimbia, hata wengine walikuwa nasema kale kama mama kana kibianga hapa. Lakini lazima upitie hiyo Sasa ndio waliniita. Kuna madamu alikuwa anaitwa Karo, nampenda sana, sijui alienda wapi. Ndio akaniambia hii biashara yako tunaona inaendelea vizuri. Can we offer you at least few money loan kidogo uendelee? Mimi nilikataa. Because mimi nilikuwa naogopa loan sana.
Uko ndani utachotwa.
I have experience when I was in secondary school. Mwalimu mmoja akikuja kuchotwa na bank. Sasa ile kitu ilinifanya niogope. Sasa ilikuwa mimi hata sitaki pesa ya mtu. Nataka kufanya na ile ndio nikue free. Sasa by then wakanipatia advice, wakanipatia yani walini advise sana about the loan and how to pay. Na nikaona ile pesa wananiambia wanipatie ni kama 3 million. Na akaniambia sitakuwa nikifanya mahesabu zangu kulingana venye ninafanya nikaona nitalipa. In fact nikachukua pesa. Mimi nikaendelea. Sasa ile couple ameofa gari kubwa sasa, si ile kidogo, sasa amenipatia FH. FH ikakuwa tena ile mahindi wale watu walikuwa wananipatia kidogo kidogo, sasa wananipatia mingi. Mimi niliona tu maajabu ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Maana wale walikuwa wananipatia kama nilikuwa nanunulia gunia 2-3, kumbe walikuwa na mahindi nyingi, ni venye walikuwa wananipatia kulingana na ile naweza kuwapatia. So mimi nikapewa nyingi, nikanunua nyingi, nikakuwa sasa na walipa na wanafurahi. Sasa the more I'm paying them, the more hata wao wanaweza kwenda pale na wengine hata walianzia biashara those days.
Sasa tukifika hapo Josephine, una imagine ulianza na 2,900. Hapa sasa una deal na milioni. Haikuwa rahisi hiyo kazi.
Haikuwa rahisi.
Nini ilikuwa inakupatia motisha ya kuendelea?
Niyo profit. You know, tunasemanga utamu wa biashara ni profit. Sasa ujue nilikuwa nafikiria kama nimeandikwa mimi hakuna mtu anatanilipa 1,000 per day. So nikienda nipate 2 to 3,000 nafanya mahesabu naona in a month nitakuwa na 90,000. So mimi sikuwa nalala. Nilikuwa nafanya kazi usiku mchana. Na si ati naenda mbali, just local. Naenda nachota tu na ile mikembe. Na ikafika pale mpaka nachota mpaka maharagwe sasa. Nikaingia tena kwa hii soko hii ya kawaida. Nikaanza kuchota, nikienda nipate mahindi hapa, nachukua mpaka maharagwe napeleka kwa soko kwa wamama. Kuna mama huyo alikuwa ananinunulia sana, anaitwa Wajoo. Mama Joe. Huyo alinisaidia pia. Sasa maharagwe nikipata namletea, naye anataka mingi. Sasa ile profit sasa ikakuwa sasa inakuja.
Na sasa wakati huo ulikuwa umefunzwa vile ya kufanya biashara ama wewe tu ilikuwa uko na shida unataka kupata pesa tuendelee?
Shida inasemekana ni mwalimu. Ukipata shida lazima ukue umefunzwa. Usipofunzwa uko na shida pia. Mimi shida nilianzia nikiwa tu mambo wakati wa shule. Ni wakati niliona school fees zinakosa. Mimi nikienda kila pahali ukiomba msaada hakuna mtu anakusaidia. So wakati nilimaliza form 4 sikufikiria ninaendelea. So ile kitu nilikuwa nafanya tu. So nifanye nikuwe na kitu ya kufanya. Yeah.
Okay, that is a story, partial of it, of Josephine Njoroge. Started off her business with 2,900. Today, she actually handles millions. Where did it start with? A zeal and, of course, a belief in herself that she can actually make it in a business that actually she had never tried in, but she knew that it was necessary. Well, we're about to take a short break here on Your World. But before we get to that break, remember, our question of the day to you is, given a chance to cut shortcuts to success, would you take it and why? Given a chance to take a shortcut to success, would you take it and why? Tell us. That hashtag is new normal. And Dennis Kyogora says, I take every shortcut necessary as long as nobody loses their life in the process. Interesting, Dennis. Another here, Frank Aseri. There's no trophy in suffering. Keep that in mind. Okay, Frank. Mochere Francis says, I definitely take it as long as it doesn't inconvenience anyone in the process. Everybody does it anyway. Hata sahi niko kwa jam na tumepita shortcut. We hear you, Francis. Cliff says, 98% of Kenyans are willing to take shortcuts. Try sending money to the wrong number. Ndio ujue wa Kenya. Ni ukweli, Cliff. Kifo Kisimani anasema, yes, I would. Nimehustle sana bila kuwa successful. Okay. Another here from Vinny Koech who says, yes, I will take it. There is no reward for being poor. Okay. Anthony Kemei says, of course, why should I suffer? Yet there is a short way out. Okay. This is what Mercy was talking about. Taking a shortcut or working smart. Duncan Kirimi says, anytime, any day. Well, clearly a majority would take a shortcut anytime. So when we come back, we'll delve more into the journey of those that we are joined by this morning. They're all entrepreneurs in their various fields, but each has a unique journey, but there's something that holds all of them together. Hard work pays. We'll be right back.
Customer preferences are changing daily. You wake up one day, an innovation has come up and the customer wants a service in a way that you've not delivered before. Textbook Center aims to provide service, products and solutions that exceed our customers' expectations. Partnering with Sendi Transport ensures that we are able to deliver on our promise of being more than a bookshop.
Did you know at Ruiru Mabati Factory, we offer free delivery within the same day? Did you know at Ruiru Mabati Factory, you can open an account and lipa pole pole at your convenience? Did you know at Ruiru Mabati Factory, you can get customized sizes according to your roof plan to avoid wastage? Call us now on 0111 050 700. Ruiru Mabati Factory, mali safi kwa bei poa.
Kwetu Mix in association with Coca-Cola.
Introducing Kwetu Mix.
Okay, but don't need no intro.
Tangu tuingie kwa hii mchezo sindo heartbeat. Nairobi City tunairan kama heartbeat.
If you know, you know.
We have a banger.
Nisho, ni wapi uliniona?
Kwetu Mix on MTV.
Hapo.
Tutakuletea updates zote about all the trendy and popular entertainment events. Yes, man.
Kwetu Mix, keep it locked, NTV, don't touch the dial.
Kwetu Mix in association with Coca-Cola.
Hello, my name is Mutuma Matthew. I'm the Group Editorial Director at the Nation Media Group. And this is a special message to all our subscribers on the first anniversary of Nation.Africa. We want to thank you most sincerely for staying with us. We know you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be with us. Thank you.
NTV Jioni, habari za kina, fasaha, tendeti na za kuaminika.
A place in your heart.
Audrey, I know all of you here are millennials, okay? Still, there's nothing wrong with playing it safe. Is it too much to ask not to do anything that could invite bad luck?
Audrey must be thinking her dreams are about to come true. Well, she's still gonna get her ending tomorrow. However, it's not a happily ever after.
So you're trying to scare us.
You know what, Audrey? If I were you, I would think long and hard. Because the man you're marrying is crazy.
A place in your heart.
Get a 2-bedroom apartment at cash 7.5 million and a 3-bedroom apartment at cash 8.5 million. All units are ready and you can purchase an apartment with a tenant and start enjoying immediate returns on your investment.
Lucozade. Energy to get through it.
Welcome back to Your World. My name is Gladys Gashanja, and today the conversation is the journey to success. And to help us along with this conversation, I am joined by Josephine Njoroge. She's the CEO at Lemafix Limited, Tony Akideva, co-founder Sierra Perfumes, and of course, Dr. Mercy Nyanchama, who is a consultant radiologist and the director at KDIS Imaging, all entrepreneurs. Thank you for joining us on this conversation. Just a reminder, our question of the day to you is, if given a chance to cut shortcuts or to get cut corners, would you actually take them? Talk to us. That hashtag is new normal, and you can also reach us using those numbers at the bottom of your screen. Now, Tony, earlier on you mentioned when you started off this business, you made a few mistakes. Like your first consignment, you went, chose the things you like without doing a research about what people would want. What are the other mistakes you made along the way?
The pricing. So like I really wanted to get a lot of people to buy, so I went quite cheap, and it was really hard on us because remember, you have to ship, you have to pay, so the margin was quite small. So we had to, after some time, we had to reevaluate and now like do a proper pricing. Yeah, not like overcharge, but do a proper pricing.
So what had informed your prior pricing?
I think we needed money, so we needed and I think now that led us into a bit of trouble, because like people could compare our price. Maybe they go to the website, compare the price, then they see, hey, we are a bit cheap. So now people are quite wondering, is this fake or what? So after some time, we needed to now just do a proper pricing.
Okay. Yeah. Now, of course, with upping your price now to the market price, came with the risk of people saying, hey, you're too much. But you still went ahead. What informed this? Because there is a risk of you losing customers saying, it's something quite too expensive.
In fact, that's why I said we didn't like really put it up there, but we slightly adjusted. So people could not really tell. And okay, people could tell, but I think people now are a bit confident with our products. Yeah.
Okay, and how did you spread your tentacles in terms of your customer base?
Like, for us, we decided to do everything from the low cost to maybe high end. So, and then along the way, it's funny because you get people who want like really quality perfume, people who want to spend money. So for me, I was afraid to like bring those high-end perfumes. But you know, like people kept on calling, Tony, can you find me this? Can you find me this? Can you find me this? So once we used to ship them in, and once we bring them, in fact, even if you just bring one and then you just post it, like, yes, I can bring this. So it really, people are really now interested in our stuff because we used to provide like that which was missing in the market. And that really like gave us a boost on our profile. Yeah.
Okay, we have Daniel here who says, biashara ya deni is what finishes businesses out here.
That's true.
So how have you handled this? Because there are people who would want something good, but they will say nitakulipa na installments.
Hey, when was it? Like 2 years ago, it was really bad. It was really bad. As in, madeni ilikuwa mingi. So people tell you, yeah, just give me 1 minute, I'll pay you. So you sent the rider, you've talked to the guy, yeah, then you just tell the rider, yeah, you can just leave him. And then that's the end of that conversation. You keep on following. People don't pay. People don't pay. People can get you into trouble. But some really pay. But now we've been forced to do a bit differently. Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
We can give you kwa deni, but you have to pay. You have to pay like maybe 3/4. Yeah, and then the balance you can pay later.
Okay, which brings us now to the impact of COVID-19. You know, people are not as liquid as they were before. Has this had an impact on your business?
For me, I would say no.
People still want to smell nice, eh?
Yeah, and then like, you know, people are not traveling like they used to travel. Yeah, so like we had to now fill in that gap. So people are buying locally. Yeah.
Okay. And the reason why I'm asking these questions is because not only to understand the mistakes you made, because it's important to know that you can make mistakes within the business. Yeah. But what have you learned about making mistakes and learning from them?
I think a mistake made, it's an opportunity for you now to be better and maybe to grow. Yeah, so we've made quite a lot of mistakes, especially on that madeni part. You know, like you want to sell, so even if somebody comes and tells you, just give me, I'll pay you after 2 weeks, you are willing to do that. But you know, like you're putting your business to a risk, because you're not even sure if that person is going to pay. And then, like, you know, you follow up, you just become tired. Yeah, so at least for now we've become wiser. We try to see a way on maybe how to do an agreement.
Okay.
So like, you know, kitambo it used to be like a word of mouth. But now you try to tie somebody into that commitment. Yeah.
Written agreements, maybe?
Yes.
Okay, now you started off with 15 bottles.
Yes.
That was 2016.
2016.
We're in 2021.
Yes.
Where are we at now?
In fact, let me tell you, let me just give you a shock. From those 15 bottles, I think we sold only 3 or 4. We ended up giving away. Yeah, like once I think towards the end of the year, we couldn't even keep them anymore. Yeah.
So how big has the business gotten to now?
We thank God. Yeah, it's quite big.
And we're talking about a shop, 2 shops, what?
A shop, yeah, we're talking about a shop. Maybe soon, maybe 2 or 3 coming up soon.
Okay, so you are an employer today?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. And I'm sure that also comes with its own learnings, yeah? And we'll talk more about that in a moment. Let's hear from Dr. Nyanchamba. You have a health background, then you got into entrepreneurship. Were you ready for this side of things, or did you learn as you go?
I had a very interesting story. I learned as I went. At some point, even watching Trump, The Apprentice, on negotiation, on location. I told myself within 2 years I would want to start practice. And of course, I'd had challenges. And especially as I graduated, my postgraduate when I was very young. So I looked at the environment outside, and I wanted to be.
Okay, we seem to have lost Dr. Mercy there for a moment. We'll get back to her in a moment. But even as we talk about the mistakes we make in business, Josephine, yako yalikuwa yapi?
Okay, mimi nilikuwa wakati unauza, unapata kuna customer ananunua zaidi, lakini anakudanganya tu ndio umpatie tu mzigo yako. Na unakataa kupatia ule anaripa, unapatia ule anakupatia yani a good story. Sasa at that time pesa inapotea. Kitabu realize pesa imepotea, hata anakuagiza ingine. So as we are investing, unapata uendelei sababu pesa tayari imeenda. The other point, ile mistake iko ni unakuja unaona hii sekta iko na watu wengi na wanataka kujua kwenye unapeleka. So bila kujua, ukifikiria mnafanya kazi, unawachukua wote kuonyesha kwenye unapeleka. They are capable. Kwa hivyo ukienda pale, ile market ulikuwa nayo inaisha. Sasa wewe mwenyewe unapata unahangaika na market. Huna pesa na huna market. Kuna ingine unajipata unaongea sana. So you are giving your secret to people wale hamwezi shikana. Sasa unapata hata wakora wanakufuata. Wakifikiria uko na pesa mingi na wewe tu umeongea sana. Yeah.
Okay. Now, wakati sasa hizi mistakes umemake and all that, of course you're in a better place today. Kitu moja ambaye umelearn ni ipi?
Ile nimelearn, you must focus on what you are doing. Then you must know who is next to you. So that ndio uweze kufika pale unafikiria. Then kusikizana na kampuni. Yote na imekuwa a reason. Kitambo umsupply na kupatia LPO. Na hiyo imenifanya lesson sababu hizo RPO huwa saa nyingine zinasaidia sana kupewa loan. Yeah.
Okay.
Na ndio maana tumefika hapa.
All right. So Josephine, tulisema ulianza wakati kulikuwa na shida, haukuwa na chochote, 2900 ikakusaidia umefika kule umefika. Kampuni imefika kiwango kipi na pia wafanyikazi unaye?
Mimi niko na wafanyikazi wengi. Although physically most of them huwezi waona because they are outside countries. And the few I have is about 40 in my company. So wako nimeandikana wengi.
Okay. Yeah. Sasa ukifikiria yule msichana alianza hii biashara na pale umefika. Ni nini imekupatia motisha ya kuendelea mpaka wakati huu? Nini imekupatia nguvu?
Okay. Mimi nikikumbuka venye nilikuwa, I had no hope. I was even to a point to kill myself. Because shida zimekuja. Nobody is listening to you. Nobody is ready to help you. So, nikijikumbuka ile wakati, inanifanya mpaka kwa church, siwezi feel. I even never work on Sunday. Because I know where I come from. Nimeshikilia mpaka my family all the people surround me wamekuwa mesaidika, so I'm not the one. Say at least Nico, I'm a mother to many. Yeah.
Kibiashara?
Yeah, kibiashara.
Okay, now just listening to the journeys here, each is unique, but each has a lesson in it. And one thing that actually stands out is that, as Josephine is putting across, you've got to be very clear on your why. Tony, what was your why?
For me, it was to feed my family, to take care of my family, and to fill in that gap. You know, like people used to buy their scents outside the country, wait for people to travel in to buy, or wait for them to travel so that they can buy. So I just wanted to fill that gap, that gap that was missing. And yeah, to be a blessing to my family as well. Yeah.
Okay, so now does that why propel you when you face challenges? Because biashara comes with challenges. Yeah. So what are these challenges you face so far?
Delay in shipment. Yeah, the delay in payments as well. I think those are major challenges. Yeah.
Okay, and when it comes to the expansion, are there challenges that come with that too?
Yeah, like for when we started them, I remember I used to do the delivery myself. So it went on for like 1 year. I used to do the deliveries myself. So it reached a point I had grown, and I needed maybe people to help me do that. Now I had to involve riders. Then we went on. Then we reached a point of now having a shop because we couldn't sustain. Yeah.
Okay. And when you think about the guy who started this business and the guy you are today, those are two different people, eh?
Yes, two different people.
What has changed?
Life lessons. Yeah, life lessons. I think I've gotten an opportunity to know so many people, to be friends to so many people. And the other thing is, not that I'm blowing my own trumpet or anything like that, but I've also helped people to grow. Yeah, in this kind of business as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you mean by that? Mentorship?
Yeah, like two people. Yeah, now they're doing okay, and I'm really proud of them.
Yeah. Now, what's the difference here? Josephine said she would go show people the ropes and all that. Then kidogo she sees, hey, my suppliers have gone. So how do you handle this, ensuring that you still stay in business?
You know, the market is quite big. The market is quite big. And I know where I came from. And I know the struggles I went through to be where I am today. So I wouldn't want somebody who is inspiring to be like a business person, doing what I'm doing, to go through those the same hurdles that I went through.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Mentorship very critical in this area. Now, do we still have Dr. Mercy? Is she back with us? Okay, Mercy, you were talking about the importance of learning on as you went. You learned on the job in as far as conducting business, but also I'd like to hear, what was your why getting to this business?
Okay, for me, my focus was low to middle income, low to middle, that's one. The other thing is I was very highly trained, and at the time, I didn't have access to what I was having, and then what I was trained for, okay? At least not to that extent. Like now. The other thing is I mean, of course, you also want something for yourself, right? So where you have a bit of independence. The other thing is I want to be the older doctor who tells the younger doctor, don't do this, do this. I don't want to be, I want to be at 50 instead of to be able to tell my younger colleagues, oh, this is how you do it, try and avoid this. This is what you do. I think for me, those were, I look at success not just in terms of money, I look at success also in terms of time. and freedom. Do I have time for my family? Because for me, family is the one ball I cannot drop. I can resuscitate a business, but I cannot drop the family. So I don't look at success purely as just money. I look at it also in terms of your time, in terms of your freedom, in terms of your choices. Yes.
Very well said. And Josephine, I'm curious to know, yes, you've had success, but you've had challenges along the way. What are some of these challenges na umedeal nazo vipi?
Okay, some of the challenges are like when you are transporting, let's say mzigo imetoka Uganda. Na on the way umetafuta gari imeharibikia kwa njia. Ile mzigo inagojewa pale na kampuni, umepeana duration of time uko imefika. Ile gari inaharibika even a week or 2 weeks. Sasa ujui kama kampuni atachukua mzigo ingine kwa wengine. So ukikuja na mzigo wako unapata hata price imedrop. Ingine ni saa ingine umeleta mzigo tena waseme hiyo sio quality mzuri. Na sasa hiyo tayari wewe umelipa pale. You cannot, hauwezi rudisha. Sasa inabidi sasa unatafuta market pale kwingine. Saa ingine unaitupa. Because if it's not better for human consumption, tuseme kuna aflatoxin, hiyo sasa inakuwa shida kubwa. Kuna zile challenges zingine unaleta ukihope customer ako serious, unapata hako serious na umerisk. Kuna ingine pale umetumana mzigo customers, ule agent wako tuseme kama Uganda ama Tanzania amechukua pesa yako na off simu yake. Sasa tena ni upate safari ya kwenda pale kumtafuta. Ndio alete mzigo. Kuna wengine wanapatikana, kuna wengine wanapotea. Although what I used to say, those countries, people from those countries are not like Kenya. How wako trusted, hata akienda labda ako mashambani akikutafutia mzigo.
So Kenya ndio shida.
Kenya ukisikia mzigo imeenda, pesa imeenda pale Kitale ama pale kwingine unanunua, umkose siku 2-3 aanza kufanya uchunguzi yako.
Okay.
Chance ni 50-50 kupata pesa yako. Yeah.
Okay, na sasa umedeal nazo vipi?
Okay. Sasa ile ni kama ni agent from Uganda, tunaenda tunamjua mpaka kwao. Tunajuana na yeye. Wengi nimekaa almost 4 to 5 months before niende kwa mwingine. Hiyo ndio nilifanya. Sasa tumejuana, nimejua familia yao. Tunajuana hata serikali ya huko wanajua tunafanya na huyu. So hawezi potea. Lakini ukienda tu pale upate mzigo inachukuliwa na unaanza kuchukua, lazima unapoteza pesa. Yeah.
Okay, na swali letu hata tunauliza, if given a chance to take a shortcut to success, kama mtu anaweza chukua. Wengi wanasema haraka sana, hatuwezi, you know, wanasema suffering is not, you know, something that you should be proud of. But then again, ukifikiria kazi yako, kuna avenues nyingi za kukata mkato. Mbona haujatumia hizi?
All the time ukitumia mkato lazima unapoteza. Hakuna kitu mzuri inapatikana ovyo ovyo. Lazima ustrain and hustle mpaka upate. Wale unaona tunaletea mzigo, wanakataa kutulipa, wanatumia shortcut. Sasa akisikia Josephine ako area, anafunga kampuni yake na ni kampuni, anaenda mpaka Josephine afanye nini? Atoke. Sasa hizo mashida zinamkula mpaka kufa. Na saa hiyo the time amefunga, kuna customer mwingine angemsaidia kununua, ainue kampuni yake. Sasa unaona hiyo shortcut ni staki. Hata nje, use the right way. Wacha kupita, ukipita upatwe na serikali kwa njia. Tuseme kama sukari venye watu walikuwa naenda. Ukipatwa tu unakuja unafainua kama 8 to 1 million. Kwani hii sukari inaleta faida gani? Hata kama niyo mahindi, unaambiwa usilete mahindi yenye iko na aflatoxin. Ukikuja upite shortcut, upite sasa haitapimwa pale, sababu tunapimwa pale kwa boda siku hizi wanapima aflatoxin. Ikuja ipatikane na aflatoxin, si mahindi inapotea. Who's lost? Ni wewe uko na loss. So hiyo ndio maana mimi inanifanya nisitumie shortcut. Yeah.
Na wakati uko chini sana, umeng'ang'ana, pesa hazikuji, biashara imelala, especially sasa na COVID vile imekuwa. Ni nini inakupatia hiyo nini ya kuendelea? Kwa sababu kuna ile unaweza sema acha tu na hii biashara. Kuna wengi wamefunga biashara.
The best with the zero supply. Wakati kuko chini kwa commodity moja, ni mahindi haichukuliwi. Sasa unaturn kwa bosho. Siku hizi nauza vitu nyingi. Kuna mchele, kuna sorghum, kuna millet. Kama sasa kuna soya. Like now hakuna soya. But tumeenda kwa millet. Hakuna millet, tunaenda kwa mchele. Lazima human being akuwe na consume kitu ingine kuliko ile ingine. That's why I deal with every cereal. Yeah.
Kwa hivyo ni kuwa versatile. Unaona hii ikipotea hii inafanya.
Ikipotea utashidilia hapo. Change your mind, because ukiendelea kwa kitu moja utaangamia, utakufa tu. Utaanza kusema hakuna kazi, unaanza kuchukia watu. Vacate from that and go to this. Yeah.
Very well said. Well, that question of the day to you again. Given a choice to cut shortcuts or to get shortcuts to success, would you take it? That hashtag is a new normal. More of your feedback. Maggie Kimani says, yes, I would take it not out of disbelief in hard work, but in the full knowledge that no one rewards you for suffering in life. This statement has been used over and over again. Peter Kasirimo, no, since cheap things are expensive in the near future. Okay, Peter. Another here from Charles Ocheng, who says there has never been a shortcut to success but hard work and commitment. If there is one, I won't mind following that route. Okay, Charles, we hear you. Another one here from Malesi, who says the key is to succeed, and if a chance comes along, I have to take it no matter what. Okay, Malesi. Another from Charity Nyatuka, who says, yes, I am tired of suffering. Okay. Vinny Koech says, definitely, why not? I guess that's a question that we are trying to answer here, and Josephine has answered. Duncan Kiremi says, anytime, any day, I would take a shortcut to success. We take a quick break here on Your World. When we return, I have had discipline, I have had tenacity coming out of these conversations, and it is important to also understand, even with the successes that are represented here today, what does it take to sustain it? We'll be right back.
Enjoy the best family entertainment on StarTimes Classic or Smart Bouquet.
Oh, yes.
Subscribe to Classic Bouquet for only $899 for 30 days or Smart Bouquet for only $999 for 30 days. Come on eBay. Ni StarTimes.
Fresh fried ginger has ginger oil, which is good for a healthy living lifestyle. It combines wonderfully on salads, stir fries, when basted on roasted meat, or simply sprinkled on your favorite dish. Now available in 250 ml, 500 ml, and 1 liter.
Lucozade. Energy to get through it.
Wonderful, your baby's quite active.
After I discovered Molfix, I rediscovered my baby. She's jumping and running around.
Well, we call that the Molfix Comfort. Thanks to its elastic side bands, Molfix provides freedom of movement for your baby. All babies deserve a high-quality diaper. You should also try Molfix.
Just one capful of Dettol is enough to disinfect surfaces and protect your family and your home. Dettol, tested effective against COVID-19.
6 years of inspiration, 6 years of bringing the world to you. A program with impact, home and away.
I still have a lot of people, come into our restaurant and say, oh, we saw you on Alex Chamada Daring Abroad.
After watching the show, I came back, invested and bought a home in Kitengela Plains.
Wow.
Catch it every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on NTV.
Lucozade. Energy to get through it.
It is your world. My name is Gladys Gashanja. The conversation today, the journey to success and of course the experiences therein, and helping us along with their own stories in this is Tony Akidiva, co-founder Sierra Perfumes, Josephine Njoroge, CEO Lemafix Limited, and Dr. Masinyan Chama, who is a consultant radiologist and director at the KDIS Imaging. And Masi, when you think about the dreams you had, having achieved them step by step, there's also the question, how do you sustain the success you've been able to achieve? What does it take on your end, do you think?
Okay, first of all, when you were talking about shortcuts and sustainability, I'm in health, right? So when you keep doing the right thing, you end up having clients who become your clients for years, and they also refer people to you, okay? The other thing is I started with targeting quality care for low to middle income, but what has happened is even the low to middle income also have their high income. People want a good doctor and they want good services. So with time, what happens is, and even when you think, even for the high income people, you talked about the pandemic, all right? A lot of people have jobs. A lot of people were no longer on insurance. So guess what? The ones who are on insurance and could go to the higher income places now are looking for quality care that is more affordable. All right. So you'll find that I've had moms who have done scans for their pregnancies all through from the first one to the last one, who tells the sister and who tells the other one, and then it's sustainable. The other thing is also when you speak of social media and perception, remember people put what they want you to see. Nobody shows you the time it's down, the time when they're not able to pay the bills. You don't know what's watering the other grass. You don't know what, we don't all come from the same backgrounds. We don't all have the same responsibilities, all right? So you have to be strong and say, you know what, this is what I have. This is what I have to go for. Perhaps you have parents, there's black tax. So you may not start on the same vein as somebody else. And people don't tell you that this car is on debt or this is on, or I'm struggling because of this. They just show when they're happy. And actually that's why studies for social media have shown a link to depression, because you're trying to compare your life to other people. The other thing is the people you surround yourself with. You need to surround yourself with people who give you constructive criticism, not destructive, right? Genuine friends all right? Who your peers, your colleagues in the trenches, people who have beliefs similar to yours, people who don't come and say, you know, gosh, you know, people who celebrate with you.
Yeah.
You know, because not everybody will be happy if it's okay if I'm better than you, but if you try getting up, you know. So your circle is very important, yeah, in terms of your peers, your colleagues, the people you look up to. I've had also quite a bit of support, as I said, in terms of people ahead of me. The other thing is also systems, in terms of the business, putting systems in. Because one thing I'm sure the doctors can identify with is pilferage. Pilferage, stealing. Stealing in terms of money, in terms of stealing your clientele, because of course, sometimes people compromise your own workers to divert your clients. That's a tough thing to cope with. So putting proper systems in. I remember at the beginning when as I said, I was still young. So I didn't put, when I put CCTV and I put the health systems in, my receptionist resigned in 1 week. And the next month, there was a double increase in income. All right. So you can see, she just came and said, you know, I can't, I'm sorry, I'm no longer in this job, but you see, it's because of the things that they were doing. So looking also, marketing your business, all right? And then also something I learned, or rather it was a decision I made in terms of the business not being linked to me alone, because that's the thing with a lot of us, yeah? You're coming to look for, specifically Dr. Nyanchama. If Nyanchama today is sick, or Nyanchama has an issue with her family, or she has, what happens? Or if she's no longer there, then that means then the place closes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Or that income is gone for that day, or you're like a slave to your business. So the thing is not just working in it in terms of setting the standards, but working on it. All right. So that, yes, because as I said, I don't look at success in terms of purely money alone. I look at success also in terms of time and in terms of freedom. Like today, I can have this talk with you, and I can also, if I need to attend to something, there's somebody else, and also providing opportunities for my other colleagues to grow also. So I don't, I believe there's nothing in this world you're going to hold on to permanently, yeah? So it can't just be one. I don't know if I've helped.
Yes, you have a great deal, And just touching on some of the things you have said, when it comes to networking, Josephine, umeweza kukuza biashara kivipi? Kwa sababu of course ulianza ukihustle peke yako and all that, but hata kama umelearn, kuna wale utakaa mbali nao kwa sababu wanakuja kuharibu biashara. Kuna wale umeshikana nao ambao wamekusaidia kukua, si ndio?
Kulingana na biashara saa ingine huwa inakuwa tamu wakati kuna pesa. So every order wa kampuni inakufanyia unaweza kufulfill. Kwa hivyo the time unawaletea mzigo kulingana na venye wamekuitisha, wana trust wewe. Wanauza jina yako kama tuseme let me say Kapwele ameambia unga wameambia rest. Unasikia simu tu tunataka mahindi, tunataka millet, tunataka nini. Hiyo sasa sababu wewe ndio uko na source ya kwenye unatoa na unaleta haraka. But kama huna pesa huwezi enda huko. That's why they trust you can manage to supply them. Na ndio maana wanarely na wewe. Unapata ile wakati kulingana na venye kunaenda, unaona mahindi inaisha. Sasa you don't stick on mahindi on the same place. Una move outside. Unaangalia hii country iko namna gani. Sasa unaanza kuleta hii. Sasa kitambo watu wachanke unaleta hii, unaleta na unauza na bei ile inafaa wakati huo ndio waweze kuuza commodity zao.
Kwa hivyo hiyo ni research unafanya.
Hiyo sasa ukijua hii country sasa mahindi inaisha, sasa tuko hapa. Kitambo hawa watu wanganganie pale, wewe umemove, umetoka huko umekuja hapa. Na ndio sasa wanaanza kushika wewe mahindi yako hujapandisha bei ama hujaenda against their supplies, so wanaweza hata wao kumarket vitu zao, na ndio maana wanalilai na wewe, unapata order mingi zaidi.
Inajenga jina. Aha. Na sasa wakati mtu biashara imenoga, pesa imeingia, inaweza kuingia kwenye kichwa alafu haribu sasa kile ulikuwa umeshafanyia kazi, exactly. Si ndio? Sasa hii discipline, hebu ongelea umuhimu wake kwenye biashara.
Lazima ujipatie discipline sana. Ukiona, sababu kuna wakati inaleta kafaida kidogo ama saa nyingine inachoma. Jua hiyo sasa unaweza kumanage. Saa hii ninastahili ya kaka kitu nimepata, at least nikuwe na kaproti pahali. At least niwe nalipa gari. Kama sasa mimi nimepewa magari. Hiyo sasa nilikuwa nalipa. Naona uko na deni unalipa. So you don't, hata ukipata bado kuna ingine unatoa, at least unaijenga kwa maisha yako. Usipofanya hivyo kwa biashara utapata kila kitu umemisuse. Na si ati umemisuse, unapatanga unakiblia biashara zingine. Ukifikiria bado itaendelea. Kama kuna hii biashara ilikuwa fake sana, watu wanauza begu. So you don't last a new business if you don't know it. You just una ignore tu, unaendelea na yenye unajua. Yeah.
Okay. And as we talk about sustainability, Tony, again, they used to say in primary school, being number one is easy. Staying number one is where the challenge is. What are these things that you've been intentional about to ensure that Sierra Perfume stays top of mind?
Never to lose focus. Never let success get into your head. And then treat all the clients same, as in, even if they're buying few or even if they're buying those high ends, just try to treat them with respect, be nice to them. And I think coming from hospitality industry, I've learned a few customer care points here and there.
Oh, that's what you did before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then be focused. Be responsible. Yeah, I think having a partner has really helped me. Like I'm being accountable to him. Yeah, and he's being accountable to me. Like I think if I was one man, one show, I don't think I'll be where I am today.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so easy to like misuse the money, the funds.
Especially when he comes in a lot of it at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, and there are those, the young ones especially, you will see they get caught up, and I think Mercy had touched on it. Social media has a way of lying to you that people are living a certain lifestyle and perhaps can afford it.
Yes.
But vitu kwa ground is different.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
What have you learned about this? It's a good tool, but it can work against you.
Yeah, I think just be real. Just be real. Yeah, I think that thing has gotten me into problems. So people can talk big. Yeah, people can talk big. And now that leads us to where we were, like when we were talking about Madeni. Yeah, so people can really talk big. So it's upon you to maybe just do a bit of due diligence on a person. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we've been conned.
Ooh.
Yes. Not once, not twice. We've been conned. So like you just try to do your best. Be praying. Yeah, it can assist you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And do you find that at times when you look at the social media success,
yes,
does it give you some sort of pressure? Like somebody else seems to have started, you know, they're making it and you've been at it and you're slowly getting there. Does it feel like at times there's something you need to do that they're doing to get where you want to go faster?
Not really. I think, for me, I think everyone has his or her own journey. So if you're trying to like put yourself into that person's shoe,
yes,
you won't get anywhere. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
To each their own. Okay,
Yes,
so we
true.
have Jane from Embu on the line. What's your question or comment?
Hello.
Jane?
How are you, Gladys?
Well, thank you. What's your question or comment?
Oh, nilikuwa na my focus was on Josephine.
Hey.
Namuuliza, Mimi nilifanya biashara ya mahindi gunia 3. Nikapata loss. Hardly ningemuuliza animente.
Akwe mentor wako.
Yes.
Ndio akuambie siri za kunoga ni zipi?
Yes.
Aya basi, Jane, thank you for calling. And I think just it's important to, as you said, to be keen on also helping other people, you know, along in this, but also being keen on how you do it. So, mtu kama huyu unaweza msaidia vipi?
Asiweke mahitaji yake yote kwa hizo gunia 3. Ikue income yake ni mingi kuliko outcome. Kama anapata kwa hizo gunia 3, labda mahindi watu sana sana tunapata 200. Hizo ni 600. Anafaa kuwa na consume. Ajipe discipline ya 200 no matter what. So that zingine zinaingia kwa kazi. Anaongezea pole pole. Lakini asikuwe ati kila akienda safari ni kwa ile tu. Akienda kwa harusi ni pale tu. Akienda kwa mabeste ni hapo tu. Lazima ajidiscipline mpaka biashara isimame. Yeah.
Okay, kwa hivyo nasikia sacrifice hapa lazima ni muhimu pia.
Na kubwa.
Kujinyima.
Kabisa. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, even as we bring this conversation to a close, I hear also the importance of growing beyond yourself. And I think, Mercy, you are very categorical about this. You'd like that what you've established to live beyond your name. So even as we close, what would you want to encourage others who are looking to get into business or just going about their day-to-day hustle to just make it in life and at times feel discouraged or think cutting shortcuts or getting shortcuts would be the best way out?
And then get grit such that you're not, you know, when you care a lot about people's perceptions, then you're more likely to make the wrong financial decisions and the wrong social decisions. So what will happen is that, as we said, you've had my other entrepreneurs say about debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Right? If you don't have any money, there are lots of resources online. Yeah, you can go onto YouTube, you can see, okay, how do I manage my finances? How do I manage? I spoke of when early on in my career, listening to Trump and watching the entire Apprentice about negotiation, location. I was never in, you know, as in, that's just a business show, you know, there's Shark Tank, you know, that shows you, things hang around with people who are real, who tell you the real story, because there's nobody's journey that does not have pain of any form, whether you have shortcuts or you don't cut shortcuts. The other thing is there are two kinds of ways to success. There's the gas, the one that pops up very quickly, but it also shuts down. So supposing I cut a shortcut with you and you're a patient, all right? Even I'm going to be a consumer as a patient myself, isn't it? I mean, healthcare workers are patients, aren't they? They have families who need healthcare. Yeah. So cutting shortcuts for somebody else, really, and yet you're going to be a consumer. The other thing is, even look, if you're in education, if you give poor services or poor whatever, you make that money, pay for your child a good education. Who's going to guarantee you that that teacher is going to care about your child, even if you're paying high end, you know? So don't look at things in terms of just always encourage yourself. As my other entrepreneur has talked, in terms of brokenness, sometimes the days will be there, you know, but you know what you're. And the advantages of good debt is that you're bringing income into your pocket, all right? So eventually you'll grow out of it. But if you're doing something for a depreciating asset or for people to see, first of all, people don't care. They'll comment on nice car, but after a while, then what happens? You know? So make choices that are good for you. The other thing is for people who are like in family, remember, children still grow, whether you're there for them or not. Yeah. So as much as we want to succeed, success is all round. Yeah, we look at it in terms of, don't look at yourself that you're a failure because, for example, I want to talk to the young people in college. Yeah, by you being accepted to a certain university, you're already a success for that level. Don't compare yourself to someone who's 50. They haven't told you the journey that they have gone through. You know, so if you've managed to, whatever stage you are, you're successful for that level. Even if you are selling in a certain market and trying to make more for that, you're successful for that. So don't compare yourself too much for someone. If you're 25 and you finished your degree, you've done it, aren't you a success for that?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
So why are you comparing yourself to a 50-year-old who has taken so much time? And for our girls, we have to be careful because of transactional relationships, trying to maintain a culture that, yet realizing you can just get to the same level as your male colleagues. You can get to the same level, and they will respect you also, and they will also help you along the journey. So that's what I would say.
Very well said.
And have fun.
Oh, yeah.
Try and enjoy it.
Enjoy the journey. Okay, Tony, even as we bring this to a close, your words of advice for those that are up and coming or just trying again, to start again, because the pandemic has also rendered a lot of people, you know, jobless and having to start again.
Okay. For me, I'll say just be passionate on what you're doing or on what you're doing or trying to do. Don't let people discourage you. Just try. Yeah, it doesn't kill to try. Be disciplined, and above all, I think, as she said, just have fun.
Yeah,
have fun. Yeah, because I think once you do what you love, you will have fun. As in, nobody will be forcing you to do anything.
Yeah,
it's just that passion that will drive you to.
Okay. Do something. Even when things are thick, you'll still keep at it.
Yes.
Okay, all right, Josephine. So again, I'll reiterate, tulianza biashara na 2,900. Here you are. Business is looking good and you're getting better by the day. Ungetaka kuwaambia wengine vipi? Kwa sababu kuna wale wanasema, kazi kama hiyo ni chafu sana, siwezi fanya, lakini ndio hii hapa inakulisha, inakupa mamilioni.
Kwanza ningetaka kuambia uwe na uwe moyo wa kujitolea. Tena usiignore chochote. The other thing, don't listen to people talks. Kama venye sasa tulikuwa tunaambiwa, tualika peleka hako kamama, ndiko kanachukuanga tule tumaindi twa gunia moja, sisi hatuchukui hiyo. Accept with a full heart and God will bless. The little you have. So tena wajipe moyo, si lazima uende ukiomba ati kila kitu serikali nifanyie. Hata serikali nataka uone Kenya utafanya ndio naye akusaidie. At least you give them space to lead a country. So hiyo ukionekana unafanya hiyo, sasa utapatia watu wengine morale. Mimi nimepatia wengi. Mimi I cannot regret. There are so many. Wale wamesaidika, nimeonyesha njia. Okay, to those who have done well, it's okay. To those who have not done well, they must see their problem. Yeah, tena outcome kwa hii biashara lazima ikue kidogo sana. Na expenditure ikue chini. Ndio at least uweze kugather, you gather what you have. Otherwise, ukiweka mambo zako zote hapo, na uko na zingine bado unatoa hapo, angalia tena marafiki venye mnatoa, lazima ukikua sasa hiyo yote unaweka hapo, biashara lazima inaanguka. Kwa hivyo ukianzia biashara, focus on it mpaka isimame. Kama umeanzia mahindi kama Josephine, sasa ufocus na mahindi. Mahindi ikiendelea kwenye unaendea mahindi, hiyo ndio itakupatia the wide way. Nitaleta nini ingine, sababu kila kitu inakuzwa lazima inanunuliwa. Yeah.
Okay. That is Josephine Njoroge, CEO, Lemafix Limited, Tony Akidiva, co-founder, Sierra Perfumes, and of course, Dr. Masi Nyanchama, who is a consultant radiologist and the director at KDIS Imaging. A lot learned this morning, even as we listened to your own journeys to success. And I think it is so imperative that we reiterate here today that hard work never goes out of fashion, whichever way you look at it. And even if you can get a shortcut out of it, you'll have to do a lot more to actually sustain the same. So again, from the panelists, when you work hard, it always pays. Might not take, you know, it might not be as fast as you want it, but hey, patience pays, clearly. I think everyone here can say that, and I see also Masi nodding to the same. Well, before we say adios, we had asked you earlier on, given a chance, would you take a shortcut? And this is your feedback. That hashtag is a new normal. If you can have that last feedback to close. Tunechi, I can take, but with good cause. And for me, there's no need for me to continue working in a company where I'm being paid for a salary less than 20,000 and have a good shortcut to make it in life. Okay. We have another here from Timothy who says shortcuts are dangerous. They will cut your life short. So no, I will not. Let me work hard and earn genuinely. I'm sure out of my own sweat, I will gather enough to meet my needs and wants and even help others. Very well said, Timothy. Eliakim says, my choice for it depends on the conditions in it. Okay, we hear you. Two-Way says, shortcuts are good if you are strategic and result-oriented person. Okay. Another here from Andrew who says, working towards one's goals with zealous and positive attitude. Shortcuts sometimes work, though with great risks. As long as one doesn't hurt innocent individuals, I think it's okay. We hear you, Andrew, and thank you for being part of this discussion. And thank you again to my panelists for letting us into their journey of success and, of course, sharing with us some of the tidbits they have learned along the way that have also helped them get to where they are today. Now, tomorrow, we shift our focus on suicide prevention as the world prepares to mark the Suicide Prevention Day on September 10th. Now, according to the World Health Organization, suicide is a global concern and a serious public health issue in every country. Now, with over 1.5 years into the pandemic, how are we doing as a country, especially when it comes to prevention of the same? More from 7 a.m. tomorrow. See you then.